1-800-509-9233. That's 1-800-509-9233. By calling the treatment helpline for drug and alcohol addiction, you can turn your life around. Our advisors will match you with a proven 5-star luxury treatment center that will end your drug or alcohol addiction once and for all. Your future can still be bright. Now, you'll speak to a recovering addict who understands what you're going through. Let us help you break your addiction.
In next month's election,
I asked my brother to carry the torch and continue the work that we started together. I'm happy that he's agreed. Toronto needs Doug Ford as mayor.
And that was Rob Ford speaking as he was about to undergo chemotherapy. He dropped out of his campaign for re-election on Friday. Again, our top story, President Obama praising Congress for passing the authority to go ahead and move forward with his strategy to fight ISIS militants in the Middle East. I'm Ron Flatter, Fox News Radio.
Welcome to the Investors Bank High School Football Show on News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and ShoreSportsNetwork.com. Tonight's show is presented by Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. Now, from the Water Street Bar and Grill in Toms River, it's the Investors Bank High School Football Show on News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
And a good Thursday evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Investors Bank High School Football Show, here live from Baker's Water Street Bar and Grill in downtown.
That my track record will say that's for sure. But yeah, there were some big games. Myself, I had a chance to see 3 of them. Okay, 2 of them we did on the air, and then I saw a game Saturday afternoon. Brick Memorial, Brick everything that everybody said they would be and more. They are better defensively. I think they are better offensively, if that can be the case. They're coming off an 8-3 season last year, was it? No, or 8-4, or 9-3 maybe, right. And they went all the way, won the state title. I don't see any reason why they can't be there again this year. They were very impressive. They adjusted their defense from a 3-man front to a 4-man front. Brick Memorial never figured that out. If they did figure it out, it was they just didn't have the personnel to adjust themselves. And Brick completely shut down the flex bone of Brick Memorial, and I was very impressed by them.
42-0 Brick won. And on Friday night, we all got a chance to see Jackson Memorial in a rout of Jackson Liberty in a non-divisional game. So, Ed, you made this statement Friday night. You thought Jackson Memorial might be every bit as good as last year when they won the A-South Championship. So, based on week 1, maybe the Jaguars a big win, and you get to eat subs from Jersey Mike's.
And I think an important win for them because so many questions. New coach, what kind of situation you're going to go into? You're playing kind of an old rival in Ocean with Tyler Thompson, one of the better players, obviously, in the Shore. They answer the call. And the same thing for St. John Vianney. All the transfers that have come in, again, reorganization and a new system there. Trying to get up and going and keep pace with everybody in A Central. And to me, the Lancers with a 31-10 win over Matawan, I mean, that's extremely, extremely impressive.
Yeah, the only thing that would scare me a little bit about Neptune, 30 points, as you said, Kevin, in the first half, none in the second. And that's what allowed Ocean to make a run in the second half and, by all means, had a very good chance of maybe overtaking Neptune. But Neptune did hang on. It's a big win for Taylor and his program.
Another game you guys did Saturday night, as I took the night off, was Toms River North rolling over Lacey in the Class A South opener for both teams. That is 6 straight losses, by the way, for Lacey Lions going back to last season. And the consensus I've got from both of you is Toms River North, under second-year head coach Dave Oslowitz, has really stepped up from a year ago.
Extremely, extremely improved, I would say, number 1, and very balanced, number 2, in their rushing attack. They didn't have to throw the football.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just single-handedly kept them in the football game with a shot until the very end.
Yeah, his numbers were solid, 15 of 21. I mean, if you're going to complete that many passes. And, the one thing that I will say for Lacey, not to belabor the game too much, but when we got their information, it was missing starter here, missing starter there. They were a banged-up football team going into week 1. That's certainly not an excuse, but you hope that maybe they can get some of those guys back and healthy and turn things around.
We're obviously saving the Manasquan on Raritan game for when we're joined by their guys tonight, head coach Anthony Petruzzi and senior running back Rich Salerno. But another one up in Monmouth County kind of caught my eye a little bit. How about Freehold Borough? Beating Freehold Township convincingly 29-7, 2-0. It's been a long time. And Dave Ellis, who's had a couple of rough years there, maybe they've turned the corner a little bit.
And a step up, too, because remember, Freehold, one of the teams that moved up in division, so they're an A North team. So not only are they 2-0 overall, they have 2 division wins to kind of get them up and rolling in this season. Obviously, anytime you think about you make the jump up in division, what can we do to kind of get started a little bit? If you win both of your games and both against 2 of your town rivals, Freehold Township and Marlboro, who they beat in the opener, good for them. Maybe the Borough's got something going on.
Yeah, I think everybody had their eye on that one to see who was.
In a minute, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk Rocket football. Raritan, really one of the big wins of last weekend, topping Manasquan. Will be joined by their head coach Anthony Petruzzi and their senior running back Rich Salerno, who had a huge game and is dealing with a lot of disappointment since that. But we'll spend a little time talking with Rich. Later in this hour, we'll go to the Toms River South Indians. We'll be joined here at the Water Street Bar and Grill by head coach Ron Severino Jr. and their outstanding senior quarterback Tymir Berry. Of course, Monmouth coach Kevin Callahan and our regular feature with Scott Stump. Still to come on what should be an action-packed evening of high school football talk. We are at the Water Street Bar and Grill in Toms River. Great place to come down, and you can catch all the TVs. Big football night tonight, too, by the way. You have the NFL game, you have Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and you have the potential for a great college game.
Auburn, right?
Number 5 Auburn at number 20 Kansas State. Top 20 matchup.
Good Thursday night game.
That's a good Thursday night game. There'll be a great atmosphere in Manhattan, Kansas for that one. So come on down and join us.
Can we do one of the nights on Thursday night from the fire pit over there in front of the big screen TV?
You
what
like
do you think?
that fire pit?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, it's a nice setup down here at the Water Street.
You know what? You can go over there anytime you want. We'll
Thanks.
Let us know how it is over there.
We're going to be tough to focus on anything other than the action on the field. Luckily, Teachers Insurance has a game plan to get you special rates when it comes to car insurance because they only insure members of the educational community, including PTA and PTO members. Teachers Insurance can cover you for less. Plus, all policies include roadside assistance and other great features. Learn more and get a quick quote online at PlymouthRockNJ.com/teachers or 855-99-TEACH.
Now, back to the Investors Bank High School Football Show on the Shores Sports Network. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
And we welcome you back here live from the Water Street Bar and Grill in downtown Toms River. Matt Harmon and Sar Luca carrying this part of the program, and happy to talk some Rockets football. The head coach of Raritan is Anthony Petruzzi, and he joins us here tonight with senior running back Rich Salerno. Guys, thanks so much for making it's a little bit of a long drive. I mean, all the way, it's like 117 to 82. I mean, you probably... You have to break out the GPS for this one?
We definitely did. It takes a little while, but we're always excited to talk Rocket football.
Coach, let's talk real quick about the season opening win for you guys. A good win, number one.
Unfortunately, I know you don't want to, but we got to talk about the injury. Unfortunately, knee injury in that third period after, as Matt said, a tremendous first half. You tore your ACL. You're going to have surgery in a couple of weeks. Those are heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking news to hear. Tell us a little bit about the injury. How did it happen? Was it a hit? Was it a turf injury or whatever?
Well, I was running the ball. I cut outside, and pretty much what happened, I tried making a cut, and then my knee just gave out, collapsed to the ground, and that was it.
So it was a cut. It was. Yes. You were not even hit.
Not even
which
hit.
Is
cut.
The way, Coach, so many of these injuries occur nowadays. Turf field at Raritan. Was it the field? I mean, it's
I think
just
it was
one of those things.
I think it was one of those freak, accidents, those injuries. Because we haven't really had those types of injuries at Raritan, so this was like the first, one that we've kind of seen happen to one of our players. Our guys up in the booth, right when it happened, they thought that something, was affected, whether it could have been an ACL. And kind of when the doctors came there and our athletic trainer, they almost knew right away that it was an ACL.
Raritan off to a 1-0 start. Their head coach is Anthony Petruzzi, good enough to give us some time with.
Basically a 3-year starter. He earned that spot towards the end of his sophomore year. And he's grown with our young coaching staff, our young offensive side of the ball through these 3 years. And I think it's just, No, it was a building phase. We've got to a point this year where, again, having the trigger man there is very important. He's a senior leader as well. He knows the offense very well, and he makes smart decisions with the football, and that's what we ask him to do. And when it's time for him to have to make a play, like we saw, in the fourth quarter, yep, he's ready to step up and make the play. So his experience, you can't count it out. It's something that's going to keep us in games. It's something that I feel like is going to give us the upper hand in a close game in the fourth quarter.
Rich, talk about what Coach had said. You as a senior and part of a leadership group that I think Coach has obviously recognized is extremely important to this year's football team. You not being on the field, talk about what you feel like your role can be moving forward to continue to help the team get better, hang in there through tough times, and hopefully at the end of it have a successful season.
I think I could just help out the younger guys with the plays and stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to be playing, but during practice, I could help them out with routes, running plays, anything.
Coach, you could actually say you're going to have another coach on the field.
Absolutely.
Salerno from Raritan High School talking some Rocket football. The good thing with that week 2 bye is you have the opportunity to think about who's going to replace Rich at the running back spot and continue to work on some stuff. I guess the bad thing is it's so early in the season. Usually when you get that bye week, you kind of tone things down a little bit. It's hard to tone down from week 1 to then what would be week 3. I would imagine this kind of week is almost an extra preseason week for you in a way.
It's different. It was something that we've never been used to doing, having a bye this early, so we kind of try to do some other stuff. We had 2 game scrimmages in the preseason just to kind of get us acclimated and get that second game in, because we wanted to see improvement with the guys on the field without the coaches. We like the week to prepare for Matawan, obviously. Whenever you go against a program like Matawan, another storied short conference team, that you want that extra week. But it is different because, you like to, week 7 or 8, if you could sneak a bye in that week to just get your team healthy and get the mindset back, that's what we used to like the bye week. But it's different. You're dealt your schedule, and, we're making the best of this week, trying to get ourselves, young guys, ready to go, trying to deal with, who's going to replace and what type of switches we have to do offensively and defensively, and I thought our kids had a quality week thus far.
Rich, back in the probably in the spring, the new schedules come out, and you see
go out there and compete and try to finish every game.
Rich, I'll throw this one to you as someone who's been through the program for the last couple of years. 2010, the last time that Raritan had a winning season at 6-4. Tell me what's going to be different, even minus you, which is taking a big part of the offense out of it. Tell me why this year could be different for Raritan and your guys are able to turn the corner and get back on the winning side.
I just think the seniors this year have great leadership, and then the young guys just following in their lead. We have a lot of skilled players, a lot of guys that make plays, and I think our team's better than the past years. So I think we're going to win some more games in recent years.
One more thing, Rich. Still aspirations of playing in college.
Yep.
So you're going to rehab that knee. Medicine nowadays, especially with knee injuries, is so much better than it was even last year. It's improved tremendously. And some of these athletes, the ones that work hard, get on the field very soon. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coach, final one for you, just to follow up actually for the same type of question that I just asked Rich. The difference between this year's football team and the last couple. Again, no disrespect to senior leaders that you've had in the last couple, but I feel like even just talking to you for the last couple of minutes, you've got a little different vibe with this group than maybe you've had in the last couple.
The difference is, I think,
and win $2,500 or any one of their other amazing prizes. It's all happening Saturday, September 20th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at 1001 Highway 71 near Warren Avenue. For more information, visit myinvestorsbank.com or call 855-I-BANK-4U. That's 855-422-6548. Investors Bank. Banking in your best interest. Investors Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender. No purchase necessary. No account to open. Employees and their families of Investors Bank and their affiliates or subsidiaries are not eligible. Must be a New Jersey or New York resident, 18 years and older. For complete sweepstakes rules, visit the Investors Bank Spring Lake Heights branch.
Hey, sports fans, no matter what team you root for, Water Street Bar and Grill in Toms River is the best place to catch all your favorite sports action. With nearly 30 HD TVs bringing you every football game, great drink specials like $2.75 domestic drafts, plus amazing food deals like $5 margarita pizzas, Water Street provides the ultimate sports atmosphere. Their deck is still open, so stop by and hang out outside while cheering on your team. Baker's Water Street's located across from Honey Park on Robbins Parkway in downtown Toms River. Visit them at bakerswaterstreet.com.
When game day arrives, Teachers Insurance Plan of New Jersey knows it can be tough to focus on anything other than the action on the field. Luckily, Teachers Insurance has a game plan to get you special rates when it comes to car insurance, because they only insure members of the educational community.
Signorino Jr. and his outstanding senior quarterback, Tymir Berry. Guys, welcome. Good to have you here.
It's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, Coach. We were chatting off air, you and I, a little bit, but some anxious early moments in your season opener last Friday night when you decided to walk down Hooper Avenue to Donovan Catholic, and I know I saw some of the pictures. It was great. It looked like it was tremendous, but maybe took a little bit of some legs or took some wind out of you early in the game. The Griffins jumped on you a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of a bittersweet thing. It really had some great memories for our guys, and it really was terrific. The fans were out, in droves, and our band, playing the whole time, and it just had a great feeling, about the whole thing. But I think, looking back, we didn't play too well in the first half, and maybe that contributed to it. With Donovan playing real well, of course. Coach Duddy does a great job, but I think our guys liked it. I think they enjoyed it. I know I did, but it was nice to get out of there with a win.
Coach, I got one question. Whose idea was it? And I thought it was a tremendous idea. Tell me who set that up.
Be honest with you,
Corral?
I'm guilty. No, I'm guilty.
Sectional finals, and you have a big lead. You have some injuries in the second half, and lose a heartbreaker at home. Obviously, that's something that stuck with you for a little while. You don't forget about those, because for as long as you've been involved in football, you only get so many of those opportunities.
Yes. Yeah. It was really a devastating loss for us, and for last year's team, particularly the seniors, it was really a devastating loss. But I think in retrospect, it's helping this year's team. We kind of talk about finishing, the game. We talk about playing with a chip on our shoulder a little bit. We certainly don't want that taste in our mouth like we did last year, at the end. I mean, when you're up 24-0 and, people are talking about parades and this and that, and, next thing you know, we just, we let it slip away. And thumbs up to Shawnee. That's a heck of a football program.
And they went on to win the whole thing.
And they went on to win the whole thing. And, we talk about we were 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from going to the state championship, in our third year. So our kids have battled. I think we're a different team now. But looking back on that loss, Kevin, it was –
step up to the plate if you want to play quarterback. It's the most important position on the field, and you got to be able to lead your team to victory. If not, then you get blamed for everything. If you win games, you get the credit for everything. So you got to be able to take the weight of the game on your shoulders and try to take the game over and control a game and play at your pace, and that's pretty much it.
Coach, non-conference with Donovan Catholic, now 7 straight A-South football games for you.
Don't remind me,
And
Coach.
it's not an easy division, probably the best, and we've gone on record as saying the best conference overall from top to bottom. There are no easy games.
No. It's one of those any given Friday night things, and that was proven last year.
Yes.
It's just a bloodbath, and, I might be a little biased, but I certainly would jump on your bandwagon as far as rating it as the top, I think, division in the short conference. And I'm not complaining. You like that. You want to go out and play big games, and I think it helps you in the postseason. And to win A-South, you're going to be a pretty good football team. So, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Ty, back-to-back Toms River games. Yeah. East tomorrow night in a game we'll broadcast on the radio.
He can run.
Yeah, he can fly.
He can run.
Khalil's like a brother to me. Blood wouldn't make us any closer. We're really close, and I think that's what helps us be successful when we're playing, because we have the chemistry. We've been playing together since we were real young, and I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today without him, and vice versa. So he's a close friend of me, and he's a good athlete. as we all know, it's not.
He's a good football player. He's a good football. I mean,
he's a football player.
He plays some defense for us.
Yes, he
too,
does. He can hit.
So yeah, he cleans up a lot of mess. So
Ty, you mentioned quarterback's the most important position on the field.
Right.
I don't think anyone would argue with you except the offensive linemen,
right.
who will tell you they are their most important. They're the most important people on the field. Tell a little bit about your O-line, how important they are to you.
They're definitely the most important people on the field. Without them, we wouldn't be going anywhere. They're definitely the most important positions on the field, and we all got a great bond together. We all love each other. We treat each other like family in the locker room, and I think that's why we're so successful now too. We're just one big family. Coaches we trust they trust the players. We trust the coaches, and it's just one family. And without the fans and stuff, we wouldn't be anywhere we are today without them and the supporters. They're all great. We all
Mirrors, you know, and he knows this. I'm not saying anything he wouldn't know, but he struggled a little bit his freshman year academically. Let me tell you something. Last year, he was all A's and B's. Wow. So he straightened out his grades. He's making good decisions now, and you know, our loss will be someone's gain. Whoever that is, fortunate enough to have him. So. He's going to have options, you know, at the end of the day.
I'd like to be your agent because
I want him to be back one more year.
when these college coaches come talking and they want to say move this kid to defense, tell them to come and talk to me because nobody runs that spread any better than you do. And believe me, there are a lot of great quarterbacks in the short. Right. There were last year; they were all underclassmen. They're all back this year.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
And you know. With you back there, you ad-lib so well, okay? So, in other words, when coach calls the pass, rarely, and there's nobody open downfield, you ad-lib and you could run the football. Yes, so, I mean, I know that's what you like to do.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah.
No knock on you, Sig.
I mean, he makes us look smarter than we are, trust me.
You know, last year, Ty passed for almost 1,100 yards.
We have Quentin DeCarlo, inside linebacker, who's just one heck of a football player. He was actually DN for us last year. We wanted to put him more in the middle of the field. He's flanked by Jaden Kosh Jr., who's just a heck of a football player, like his older brother Billy was. Like we mentioned earlier, Khalil, you know, in the middle of the field, cleaning up. And, you know, this guy here has to play some defense for us this year. And, you know, he's a pretty good corner. And he probably doesn't play it as much as he'd like to, but
got to keep him a little fresh,
right? We know that, you know, if we need him out there, he's going to be out there and perform. So we like, it's the second year in our system, you know, so we're hoping to, you know, have a better defense and get off the field more than we did last year.
Well, there are quite a few legends who have coached this game around the shore and still alive and still kicking. None of them are coaching anymore.
Yeah.
You've got one running your defense.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the relationship of your dad, who runs the defense, and yourself.
Well, he's actually forgotten more football than I can remember. But,
I think that we could all put that
together. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he just turned 80 years old in April, and you wouldn't know it. He is out there. He's one of the hardest working guys on the field, off the field.
Which is just – listen, yes. I mean, that's like you write those things down and you dream for those.
And not only that, but we're all back in the place where he was and I grew up with and Matty played. And it's just, I mean, we're blessed. There's no question. You know, I kind of pinch myself at times, you know, and just feel so fortunate and blessed that, you know, we have this situation.
Reference, by the way, to Matty Martin, the offensive coordinator, who's your dad's grandson. So, Ty, tomorrow night, Toms River East. I'm sure you've seen a little film on them or talked a little bit about them. What do they do defensively that becomes a challenge for you as the quarterback?
They're aggressive, which means the reads are a lot faster. Everything happens a lot faster, so that means I'll just have to be on my A game tomorrow. And, well, pretty much the whole offense, we're going to have to be on our A game tomorrow, and we're going to have to execute fast and well, and hopefully we pull out the win.
Yeah, because East easily could have won that game against Southern. They were right in that game last week.
Yeah, I mean, the turnovers at the end, you know, there's no question. You know, I'm not so sure East wasn't the better team that night. You know, A South, they could go either way. But that night, I was very, very impressed, you know, with East. we have our hands full. There's no question.
So there's no reason even to talk about like the Bricks and the Jacksons of the world, because right now it's Raiders and then Mariners.
5:39 Thursday morning in Lacey Township. Investigators say 54-year-old Suzanne Kessler of Manchester was killed when her car was struck head-on by a vehicle driven by 27-year-old Kenneth Busardo, who sustained minor injuries. Every 911 call center in Jersey would be required to be equipped to get emergency messages sent via text under a bill slated for consideration Thursday. Assemblyman Dave Rybel is the sponsor, and he says it won't lead to more hoax calls because anyone who sends a bogus 911 text would face the same penalties as anyone who makes a phony call.
They can't run from the law on that. Their number is their number, and they're traceable no matter what.
Rybel says in this technological day and age, his legislation is vital and potentially life-saving. Ocean County weather, cool and comfy overnight and a little windy and sunny tomorrow. I'm Rosetta Key. See the stories you hear anytime at WOBMAM.com.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Ron Flatter. There has been a mass shooting in Florida in a small town west of Gainesville. Fox News Radio's Jessica Rosenthal reports live.
The local newspaper in Gainesville is reporting that a source says 2 adults have been killed and that as many as 6 others have also been killed, possibly children. It happened north of the town of Bell off a graded roadway near Highway 129. The Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office says no one is currently in danger. They've scheduled a media briefing for
season across the country. The company has prepared 18 million tax returns since its inception. They need tax preparers, office supervisors, district managers, and marketers. National Grid is a power company that needs 200 positions filled. Call center staff, meter readers, engineers needed. Hiring in New York, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Shamrock Foods has 2 divisions, Shamrock Food Service and Shamrock Farms. 200 jobs are open. They need plant operations positions filled. Warehouse staff and driver jobs are also open. Virginia, Arizona, Colorado, and California. Finally, Network FOB is a shipping company for freight customers and business customers across the U.S. They have 300 jobs open. They hope to fill by the end of the year. Account managers, branch managers, admin staff needed. Florida, Texas, Illinois, Missouri, and Colorado. For more on these opportunities, go to CasoniExchange.com. I'm Cheryl Casoni, Fox Business Network, Fox News Radio.
There is a report saying the Democratic National Committee is under pressure to change its leadership. Politico saying that the administration is not on the same page as chairwoman and Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
The piece alluded to unnamed sources, which said the Obama White House despises Wasserman Schultz and often cuts her out of strategy meetings, and that Democrats wanted her out after the 2012 elections, but didn't want to sting Jewish voters. The story forced awkward endorsements for Wasserman Schultz from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
She has all of our support.
WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
And welcome back. A little after 8 o'clock on a fall-like Thursday night here at the Jersey Shore. We're broadcasting live from the Water Street Bar and Grill in downtown Toms River, like we do every Thursday night, talking high school football on the Investors Bank High School Football Show. Kevin Williams, along with Matt Harmon and Ed Sarluca, Tom Tremblay here, making sure everything works, ably assisted by Colleen Hall tonight from our digital department, and of Brian Cedillo back at the studios of WOBM AM.
Just keeps getting bigger. The crew,
yeah, we're just
the video now and the this and the that. And
staff
grows.
We need We need personal assistants, is what we need, like people to carry our stuff for
Matt,
us.
we're going to be in shirt and ties eventually here.
Yeah.
No,
I doubt that.
Never.
Not if Kevin's in charge.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that.
That's never happening. Well, I'll tell you what is happening. Monmouth University Hawks winning their first 2 at home for the first time in more than a decade, and now they begin a stretch of 3 straight road games, starting with this Saturday when they head out Pittsburgh way to take on Duquesne in a noon kickoff. Matt, of course, calling all the action along with Eddie Acapinti. We're joined, as we are every Thursday night, by the head coach of the Hawks, who will make that bust.
A small kid, with wild hair, and I asked Matt, my partner, I said, who is that? And he said, oh, a kid named Cheney. He's a running back. He's been hurt. He hasn't played a lot. Well, he certainly has played a lot, and he gives you a nice combination at the running back spot. Talk a little bit about him.
Well, LeVon, you're absolutely right, Ed. LeVon is a dynamic player. We knew that a year ago. He got into some games last year as a true freshman during spring practice. We needed to know if a guy of his stature, he's only about 5'8", 5'7", maybe 185 pounds, could shoulder the load of a full game, and so we purposely gave him the ball 20-some times during the spring game. He came out of it, in great shape, and he performed admirably. And so he's a guy that when KB Asante needs a blow can go in there, and he gives us a shift of gears.
Yep.
He's a guy that's quick, he's jet, he can accelerate, and he's going to be a formidable player for us.
On the surface, somebody might look and say, well, Duquesne's off to a 1-2 start. Very deceiving 1-2 start. Opening up with road losses to Buffalo and Youngstown State, two perennial strong programs, and then coming back and...
Well, there's no question, Matt, that our guys remember last year's game. It was a game that we needed to win to get over the 500 mark. We were 6-5 going into it. A win would put us at 7-5 on the year, and Duquesne made more plays than we did, and we had some big breakdowns, particularly in special teams, if you remember, that caused us not to win that game. And our guys are very focused about this year's game, and they know that the type of personnel that Duquesne has and the type of game it's going to be. We went out there, we won at Duquesne in 2012, I think 28-27. They beat us here last year, so we know we're in for a dogfight. And the way the season is playing out, at least through the first 3 games, is that each game seems to have a bigger significance, a bigger role in how the whole season will go. And, our guys are geared up and ready to go.
Monmouth University head coach Kevin Callahan. Hawks are 2-0. They begin a 3-game road stretch on Saturday at Duquesne. Coach, just share with us how the routine changes a little bit when you go on the road in terms of time that you'll leave. You probably lose a little bit in terms of maybe a bit of prep. I assume you'll bus out tomorrow?
We will. We're practicing tomorrow morning. We always practice in the morning, so we'll have our usual practice at 8.
Usually on the schedule for 1 o'clock. It'll be a noon kickoff. Matt and Eddie will call all the action on 1160 and 1310 and shoresportsnetwork.com. Hope you have a good trip out there. More importantly, Kevin, I hope you have a good trip back, a victories trip on the way back.
The trip back is what it's all about. The trip back is what it's all about, man. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you next Thursday, hopefully at 3-0. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Monmouth University coach Kevin Callahan. You can hear Coach Cal every Tuesday night from 7 to 8, talk all Monmouth football with Matt during a live broadcast here and from Jack's Goal Line stand in West End.
When I tell you, Kevin, I am shocked. I mean, I don't know, short of Ed ever picking against Brick Memorial, that he went through that whole interview and did not bring up Mike, the Rookie of the Week.
Enough has been said about Mike Basile.
Well, you seem like there's steam almost coming off
of you. He was my prime recruit.
That you didn't get that question in. I'm proud of you, Ed. I'm proud of you.
Well, let's talk about Mike. He's had a tremendous start. Matt, you've seen both games in full. We missed last week's game because, I went to the Brick Memorial game, but he's had a tremendous start, freshman of the week, and leads, I think, the Big South, it's tied with 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions. He's had 1 in each game, had the one to seal it against Wagner. And, Coach and I talked about it a little bit on his Tuesday night show.
No matter what team you root for, Water Street Bar and Grill in Toms River is the best place to catch all your favorite sports action. With nearly 30 HD TVs bringing you every football game, great drink specials like $2.75 domestic drafts, plus amazing food deals like $5 margarita pizzas, Water Street provides the ultimate sports atmosphere. Their deck is still open, so stop by and hang out outside while cheering on your team. Baker's Water Street's located across from Honey Park on Robbins Parkway in downtown Toms River. Visit them at bakerswaterstreet.com.
Now, back to the Investors Bank High School Football Show on the Shores Sports Network. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
And welcome back here at the Water Street Bar and Grill. A few more minutes to talk football. Scott Stump should join us any minute, hopefully, in his regular spot where he'll be heard each and every Thursday night. I want to mention that you can check out our picks, the so-called experts. That would be really an overstatement.
I mean, we all had okay weeks.
I was terrible. I was terrible, yeah.
Can we mention, Kevin, our player of the week that we have online? Carmen Sclafani won it this year. This week?
We can, Ed. You just did.
Yep.
That's the Sport Clips
Well, I'm just saying that we want to mention that.
Well, one of the neat things we do.
Can Neptune get over the hump? I mean, Neptune hasn't beat Middletown South since the 1998 Central Jersey Group 3 final. South's been 8-0 against them since then. So, we're going to see if the Flyers can reverse that trend in their favor. And even though it's a non-divisional game, it's huge for power points. Both of these teams are in the Central Jersey Group 4 bracket, so a lot at stake, and then, just two great programs going at it.
Scott, I know the other game that at least interests me when it comes to Monmouth County is the one team that hasn't played yet, and that is Rumson Fairhaven, who sits number 3 in the Shore Sports Network football top 10. Not only have they not played, which is no benefit to them from the schedule makers, they also have to go on the road to open up their year against the Matawan team that I would have to think is reeling a little bit and maybe even a shade embarrassed in how they played against St. John Vianney in week number 1.
That's right. Matawan coming off a 31-10 loss. I mean, they got held to -6 yards rushing, did not have an offensive touchdown. A team that's expected to be right in the hunt in A Central. So this game's really big for Matawan. They don't want to fall into an 0-2 hole. Obviously, we know these teams have had a great rivalry. They've played in the state finals a couple times in the last 5 years. So Rumson's going to have to be on their game right away. And I guess if there was one good offense, they put up 39 points in the comeback win over Homedale. So Manasquan just gave up 41 in their opener against Raritan. But Manasquan's so tough at home. If I had to guess, Monmouth Regional's probably never beaten them on that field. So that's going to be a big game for them to stabilize things after the first week as well.
And, Scott, looking at some of the smaller schools, it's the start of what I would consider an early preview to the Central Jersey Group 1 playoffs. It's all those crossover games with Metuchen and Asbury Park, Point Beach and Middlesex, Keensburg and Keyport both play those games as well, Shore to Shore Regional. So, early on for a lot of state playoff activity, you kind of get an early sense of how teams like Point Beach and Shore are going to match up against Middlesex County teams.
Absolutely, and that's a bracket the Shore Conference has dominated. They've won the championship in Central Jersey Group 1 6 of the last 7 years, including Point Beach last season beating another Shore Conference team in Shore Regional. And the only team that's really thrown a monkey wrench into that is Florence, which is out in Burlington County. So this is a question of whether the South Rivers, the Metuchens, will be a factor at all in that bracket. I mean, they really haven't been in recent years. So we'll see if the Shore Conference can kind of keep the upper hand. And
Sinkhorn got his first win last week in his second game against Colts Neck, so they go into that one 1-1. Well, some interesting games this week, and as you said, I think the one that a lot of people are paying attention to is where you'll be tomorrow night when Middletown South takes on Neptune. Should be a good one. We'll certainly hear from you and follow you on Twitter tomorrow night, as we do each and every Friday night, as we're at the home of the Indians when they play Toms River East. And, of course, we'll look forward to all of your stuff on ShoreSportsNetwork.com, along with Bob Batters. Promises to be plenty of action to talk about after this weekend. Scott, thank you so much.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's our guy Scott Stump, who is as good as they get in the biz.
He has the, I always find it funny because his name is what you can't do to him. No matter what question you throw at him, you can't stump him with anything.
Yeah, he's.
You can bring up any game, and he's right on top of it.
And he does it with names.
Yeah, right on top of it. Names, numbers,
stats,
everything.
I will match him up against anyone when it comes to current, Shore Conference football knowledge. He's tremendous.
By the way,